If I took myself like mum out of there and I took like daughter, if I took sister, manager, all of that stuff, I just didn't really know who I was. I don't need you to comment on the thing that I'm already trying to deal with. Like, let me deal with it in my own way rather than, telling me that this is distracting or that is distracting. It wasn't actually till I went to Brazil in 2023 that I realized that I'm actually the norm.
I'm sorry to ask you this, but do you think that you would have got the same comments if you weren't a Black woman?
Oh my God.
Hi, and welcome to Outwork With. I'm your host, Anna Merchant. Today, I am sitting down with the incredible Nana Crawford, mum, wife, Samba dancer, twerk instructor, and founder of JiggleFiTT. JiggleFiTT is a London-based dance fitness brand built around body positivity, inclusivity, and the celebration of Black culture, bringing twerk and Samba classes to women across London and online. Nana joins me today to talk about her love of dance, her journey to body confidence, and how the movement has quite literally changed her life. I'm so excited to share this episode. Please welcome Nana. Nana, thank you for coming. I'm so glad that we've been able to make this work. I know it's been a bit of a back and forth, and especially thank you for coming during the Easter holidays.
Oh, no, it's no problem. Anytime that I get to be away from my children.
Well, on that note, actually, it's a great intro to my first question. When we spoke last time, you said that you introduced yourself as a mum, a wife, and a Samba dancer in that order.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to know why that order.
So mum, because it's my biggest responsibility and it's the thing that I am the most proud of. Because I have two children that depend on me and they look up to me, and that is my biggest responsibility. Wife, I think I should probably go wife, mum, but because my husband means a lot to me and that commitment means a lot to me. And I honestly don't think I would be where I am now without that support and commitment from my husband. And Samba dancer, because it completes that identity of who I am when I'm not a mum and when I'm not a wife. This is who else I am, and this is what I love to do. So that's why that order has always kind of felt natural for me.
And your husband you've known since he was 17?
Yeah, we met when we were like 16. And then I think we got together when we were like 17, like teens in love.
But like, as in you've grown up together, pretty much, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I think what's been really nice is that we've kind of experienced each other through different phases of our lives, through our 20s, 30s, now going into our 40s. So it's been a battle that we've both faced together. It's kind of like identifying who you are when you're with someone, but also as a separate individual. So I think that's why I feel like it's lasted, because we've been able to kind of see each other grow and support each other through.
And also it's so important to support each other through, right? So if you can live through your worst, then the best is such a bonus, right?
Exactly. Especially when you're just like teens.
And because you're young, like, you're not the same person that you were at 17.
Oh my gosh. Do you know, I asked him this the other day. I said to him, I was like, if you met me now, would you? And he was like, absolutely not. Oh, wow. You're insane.
Well, I mean, he supported you.
Exactly.
Trust me. Oh, well, that goes into really well into the next thing that I'm so interested in. I know I told you that I've been in like Nana land for the last couple of weeks. So you were born in Ghana, which I find very interesting, only because you're so proud of your Ghanaian side, right?
Yes.
And your full Ghanaian name is Nana Ya, and Ya is for people born on Thursday. Yeah. I'm also born on Thursday, so I'd be Anna Ya. But what I found really interesting about names that the people associate the word Ya with strong-willed, brave, a natural leader.
Yes.
How much of that do you see in yourself?
I have this very weird disconnection of how people see me versus how I see myself. And it's kind of throughout not just my personal life, but also through the classes and stuff. Like, I just see myself as just trying to make it through day by day. Like, I'm literally just trying to make it through day by day, make sure my kids are watered, fed, all the stuff that you do with plants, do with my children, that kind of thing. But then when people approach me or tell me that they've done something because I've inspired them to do this, or they are impressed at how much presence I have, and that I kind of have to take a step back and be like, is that me?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, a lot of the times I really have to question if that's me, and is that how they see me, and that's how I portray myself. Like, very, very, it's always really surprising to me. But then when I think about my mum is a fearless woman. She is a fearless woman. She has a very strong faith. Jesus is her best friend. Like, first and foremost. We all know that. Even my kids are like, who's grandma's best friend? Jesus. So Jesus is her best friend. So she lives by faith. And my mum has always instilled that kind of like self-belief and confidence, just not in herself, but in me and my sister when we were growing up. And she's always sort of said to us that it doesn't really matter like how people know you or what they know about you. It matters what you know about yourself and what you're happy with and what you're ready to put out into the world and what you're comfortable with. So that has always been something that has always resonated with me, because looking at her and seeing her just kind of navigate life with multiple jobs as a nurse and working in a nursing home and everything, but having such a strong will and putting her family first as well has always been something that has stuck with me. So that's something that I really want to always make sure that I have time for my family, but also have time for myself. And that's something that my mum was very, very strong advocate for, is like, make sure that you find time for yourself. Even though I got lost in myself, it was something that I've always kind of come back to.
Oh, I love that so much. And do you think some of that, or a lot of that, is from your mum's lived experiences and maybe the lack of opportunities that she had? Because it seems like she, when you guys came here, for her to then start working as a nurse and doing multiple jobs, like, it's hard work. Like, I know
it is.
As second-gen immigrants.
I would probably say that like my parents came here to give me, my sister, a better opportunity. So I feel like I would be wasting the amount of effort and time and education on their part that they've done to bring us here for these opportunities if I don't make the most of it and make the best of it.
Yeah, I completely resonate. I feel a lot of second-gen immigrant children do feel like that, because you see the struggle and you see so much of the struggle. And I remember my parents would always say, just please get an education and just do something with your life.
Yeah.
I remember my mom saying to me when I was, during uni, she was like, you never, ever let anyone control you with money. So she's like, whatever you do, she's like, whatever you do, you have to have money in your own control.
Yes.
And that always stuck with me, because I was like, I have to be financially independent. Whatever I do in life, I have to be able to be financially independent. And, I now look at my son, and I don't know if you see that with your children, they'll never know that struggle.
No.
Like, they will never, like, I grew up watching that struggle. I never felt I had a lack of anything.
Yeah.
But I watched them struggle. My son has no idea, as in anything he wants.
My kids have no idea. No idea. My daughter has this thing now where the phrase of her life is, I need this and I need that. And I'm always like, do you need it or do you want it? Because those two things are what you need to do is drink water.
Yeah.
What you don't need is lip gloss, first and foremost. So I was like, let's think about the words need and want.
Is she at the age where she's telling you that you're ruining her life?
Not yet. She's just at the age where she has a very long list of needs. And they all revolve around products. And it's like, where on this list is you need to do homework, you need to just drink water, you need
to do some
sleep.
chores,
you need
anything.
to empty the dishwasher. None of those needs are on there. Just the long list of product needs.
Well, I mean, it takes me nicely onto, your background before dancing. So you had, obviously, on paper, it seemed like, award-winning marketing and communications career. You had your kids, you had a good relationship with your husband. What was it that was missing?
So it was all of that. So I had a great job. I had great friends. I had a successful career. And I had a great family. But what was missing for me was, if you look at your life kind of like as a puzzle piece, right? When I took those pieces away, there was nothing left. Like, I didn't know what was left. So if I took myself, like, mum out of there, and I took like daughter, if I took sister, took, manager, all of that stuff, I just didn't really know who I was. And there was no puzzle pieces left, which kind of didn't make sense to me. So then I was like, I need to add more pieces to this puzzle, because that can't be that can't be my life. My life can't just be the labels that I have in all these different places.
For somebody else.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then it's like, well, then where's Nana in all of this? So that's what was missing. It was me. Like, where am I in this grand puzzle?
And do you think that was kind of made more prominent since you had your kids? Like, did you find that
Definitely,
more?
100% more, because when I had my kids, everything was for my kids. And every decision that I made, every time I thought about like wanting to go for a promotion, it wasn't because, you know, it's like, oh, I deserve a promotion. And it was kind of like, okay, I need to go for this promotion because I need to make sure that we get more money so that my kids can live more comfortably. So all of those decisions were for my family. And none of those decisions were really for myself. So that's when I had to really start thinking about like, well, what do I want? Like, what do I need? What do I need?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, besides lip gloss, but what do I need? So that was the kind of the point for me. And I remember actually sitting down with my husband and having this conversation with him. And I was like, what do I do if I don't have a job? Like, I was like, if you take my job away and take like my responsibilities away from this house, like, what do I like? What do I do? And he was like, well, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I need to figure that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where that came from.
Well, I mean, then tell me about the name. So obviously your brand is built on this Black woman can.
Yeah.
Where did that actually come from and how did it end up being your brand?
So it's so interesting because so originally it was just my name, who I am. And when I decided to go back into dance, because I've always loved dance.
Yeah.
And it was my husband who was just kind of like, you should maybe just get back into dancing because you really love that. You want to work out, but I've done all the fitness things. I've done programs. I've done cycle this, cycle that, all of that kind of stuff. And none of it made me happy. So I was like, let me get back into dance and let me choose the hardest of all the Latin dances that there are. Samba, why not? You've never done it before. Let's try it. But there was something about it that really spoke to me and allowed me to kind of challenge myself. And through those kind of challenges, I was able to kind of challenge myself more at work, challenge myself more at home. And it was that kind of mindset that I had to really adjust in terms of like, not feeling like I couldn't do anything, but feeling like I could if I put my mind to it. And that's kind of like where this Black woman can.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, you said that this Black woman can because that was you. What do you mean by that?
As in like this Black woman can do anything like that she wants to do. So it's basically like,
I love that.
When I was thinking about it, I was thinking of it as like the start of a sentence. So this Black woman can work towards doing this. This Black woman can be there for her family. This Black woman can. So it just allows me to kind of like put that mindset that I can do anything that I put my mind to.
So around that time, so obviously you started Samba first time, like, you know, you've never done it before. You talked about letting yourself go in and around that time as well, where, you know, your clothes weren't fitting, and I've been there and I'm still there. My pre-baby doesn't fit. I've gone up a size. I'm like, it's fine. Not wanting to look in the mirror. Like, it's a really hard time. And I've been there and I've seen that. So what was dance doing for you at that time whilst, you know, you were going through that wave of emotion?
Yeah. So dance was just allowing me to kind of accept the state of my body, if that makes sense. Like, it was just allowing me to accept who I was in that moment. And often I think when people get into exercise or fitness, they always think that there's an end goal of wanting to change who you are, right? So when I got into Samba, I sort of said to myself, let me just do it because I just want to enjoy it. And whilst I was enjoying it, I was like, let me give myself permission. Like, let me actually give myself permission to just enjoy dancing in the body that I have and not being critical about the body that I have. And that's what Samba kind of really allowed me to do, which was to just enjoy the body that I had at that time and to challenge myself in a way that I had never sort of challenged myself before. To think differently, to move differently, and to just really enjoy what I had at that time.
And what kept you going? Because that was around the time of lockdown. Right? So you'd started, then lockdown hit, and then it was kind of just you on your own in your kitchen. My kitchen. That kitchen is like famous. Why did you keep going?
So I kept going because I could tell that I was getting better. I was enjoying myself more. I was just enjoying my own time because I think what was really nice about being able to do it at home actually was that my family kind of like just let me be. they were just like, oh, mum's doing this thing
Doing
with
this
this
thing again.
random person online and just like dancing very strangely. And they just left me to be, or they would join in. Like my kids would constantly join in. So it was just nice to kind of just have that alone time with myself, with my thoughts, and just be present with myself. And I don't feel like a lot of the times we're actually really fully consciously present with ourselves and just kind of can just be content with just who we are in that moment. And that's what having those classes kind of really helped me do, was just to be present in the moment with who I was at that time.
And did it almost energize you? So like 1 hour, 2 hours you take for yourself?
Oh my gosh,
you just
dancing is so good for your brain. It's so good for your brain. And after, I mean, during it, you're just like, why am I doing this? Like, I hate everything about this thing. Why am I sweating so much? But at the end, you feel accomplished, right? Because you've done something for yourself and you have all these like endorphins and you're just like, right, I'm ready to do more. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I really feel like what was really interesting, I think, for me was that all the stuff that sort of like really blossomed at work for me happened when I started dancing, because something kind of like unlocked in my brain and I started to feel more joy outside of work. So I could bring more joy into work and I could manage my team and I could be like, what do you like doing? Like, let's do the thing that you like doing. How can I find ways so that you can have some joy and work and feel fulfilled, you know? And I actually ended up doing like a talk, which was like how Samba made me a better manager, which was really random. And people came to the talk because they were just very intrigued. And I just talked about all the things that I had learned about Samba, about myself, and how I was able to apply that discipline, for example, having that kind of rigorous schedule of discipline and being able to kind of make mistakes as well and not like kind of harbor over these mistakes and let them stop me, and coping with mistakes.
Also, you like showing up for yourself again and again without anyone holding you accountable.
Exactly. And being able to do that at work totally changed the game for me.
Amazing. And then you started sharing it online. Your journey. And I think that was more to keep yourself accountable.
It was just, I did it I was talking to my best friend actually. And I said to her, I was like, I'm just going to post it online. And she's like, yeah, go on, why not? Because I was like, if I post it, then at least I'm holding myself accountable, because I'm saying, I'm doing this thing, I'm never going to quit. And I can just be like, oh God. So I just did it just to hold myself accountable. I never kind of expected it to go where it's gone recently. But yeah, it was just like, I just wanted to show my family and friends, because back then I had like, 200 followers. So it's like my family and friends just be like, look at me, I'm moving my feet.
And it kind of brings me on, and we'll go into more detail talking about this, but why do you think people felt so entitled to comment on your body?
Oh my gosh. I honestly do not know. I don't understand. I think there's two parts to it. There's a part to it where there's this whole freedom of speech on social media. So people think that as soon as you post something, they're free to comment on like whatever it is. Yes, public. Like your video is now there for my review. I can now review this video and I can comment on this video. And also I feel like there's a sense of entitlement that people have in their lives, that they just think that it's okay to comment on because of that distance, right? I'm not standing physically in front of them. So they would probably never say that to my face.
That's fine.
It's absolutely okay to just say it there, because, I can just type it and just put it out there, and it won't really make much of a difference.
I found crazy, as in, I was obviously going through your social media and I was looking at the comments, and actually you have such a wonderful community.
Oh, I have a great community,
But some of the comments I came across, I was like, I can't believe someone would firstly sit there, watch the video, and then think of something really nasty.
I know.
And then type it. And then send it to you.
Yeah.
I can't believe the audacity of some people. And I won't go through all of them, but some of them, which you've also just recently done a video about, was, your belly is distracting. You look better if you lost weight. Or like backhanded compliments, like, oh, your Samba's so great, but if you were thinner. Obviously it's been a couple of years since you're doing this, but what was it like at the beginning? It just sounds so awful.
It was completely demotivating. It was horrible because, again, you have this kind of like warped sense in social media. And you kind of sometimes forget that people have no idea what they're talking about. They're talking complete nonsense. But when you're just trying to do your best and trying to put yourself out there, and you've got different people kind of commenting on something that you feel triggered by, like I've always had body issues. I've always had issues with myself, and Like, it's like, I don't need you to comment on the thing that I'm already trying to deal with. Like, let me deal with it in my own way rather than, you know, telling me that, you know, this is distracting or that is distracting. It was very difficult. And I think there were lots of times where I kind of like would just not be on social because it would just not be a nice place to be. But I really feel like those who knew me, who understood me and wanted to motivate me would reach out to me through WhatsApp or whatever and just be like, no, keep going. I'm loving this. Like, this means a lot to me and it's helped me. And I'll be like, okay. One of my friends was like, I'm going to collate all the positive messages. Not the ones that just like, this looks great, but the ones that just like, you've helped me do this. And she sent me a whole bunch of all these messages that were just like, you've changed the way I see myself. I started Samba because I didn't think I could start Samba, but our bodies are really similar. And maybe I should be doing Samba and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, so this is the why. This is the reason why I need to keep showing up, because I'm not only showing up for myself, but I'm showing up for all these other people. And these other people can just go suck eggs.
Yeah. And you're like paving the way, as in, so yesterday while I was just finalizing stuff, I was like, let me just Google Samba dancer on, you know, Google. Right?
Yeah.
So majority of them were white women. Yeah. Very fit, you know, slim, very tall, look like models. Or they were black women, but very fair skinned black women. Yeah. Again, same body type, the body type didn't change. And for someone who wouldn't be familiar with your work or other people in your position where like it's for all bodies, like it's not just a certain body, there's no way in hell that they'd be like, okay, I'm going to go try Samba, because they just wouldn't see themselves in that. And that's what I love about what you're doing, is that you show that it's possible for anyone and everyone, and it's so inclusive. And I'm sorry to ask you this, but do you think that you would have got the same comments if you weren't a black woman?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I remember like there was a time when I posted one video that again blew up and I had lots of comments about the size and the fact that I hadn't reduced in size or whatever else. And I decided to like look up other Samba dancers and just look at the kind of comments that they would get. And all their comments were just like super positive. There was not one single negative comment on any of their videos. And it would just be like, okay, so they're fine, but me, no, I have to lose weight. I have to, and all of it was always about my weight. Like it was as if my weight was an issue for, like, it was a hindrance for me being able to be good. Yeah. Which was just absurd. It was absolutely absurd. And it wasn't actually till I went to Brazil in 2023 that I realized that I'm actually the norm. Yeah. I'm totally the norm. Like my body type is actually the most normal type. That was where I was going to go to next, because you did end up going to Brazil. Yeah. And what was that experience like for you? That was like, it was emotionally releasing for me the first time I went, because I went with two friends. One of them was Brazilian already, and we went to a carnival. So we went to see carnival. We'd never seen carnival before. And similar to you, like when you Google Samba dancers, you don't really see a lot of diversity in the Samba dancers. So when we were there, so in my head, I thought everyone was going to be what I had seen kind of here. But then when I was there and I was just like, all these women look like me. They look like me. They move like me. They have bellies. They have bums. They have thighs, you know. And I was like, this is actually crazy. Like how is me like existing as who I am how am I the odd one out when in fact I'm actually very in. And that trip actually really kind of like affirmed it for me, that this is what I should be doing, that I shouldn't be ashamed of who I am and what I offer to the world of Samba as well. It kind of like reignited the passion for Samba even more. And I feel like I'm really thankful that my friend forced me to go on that, or to go to Brazil, because I was starting to dip a bit and starting to think like, is this like, what is this worth? Like, you know, like, am I just going to keep getting these comments and is it going to go anywhere? So going on that trip was just like, it was the best thing that I could do for myself, to see myself in other women and be like, yeah, okay, this is fine. This is cool. And what's crazy is that Samba has roots in Afro-Caribbean dance, right? Yeah, like a lot of it African. So it came from the slave trade that moved through to the North and the South America, which is nuts. I think a lot of it is to do with education though, because you don't learn about those things. You don't learn about the history and the roots. I started researching. Yeah, you don't learn about the history and the roots of things. So what you see, that visual of Samba that you see, like you say, is often European and tall and slim and white. So you think that that's what Samba is. But then when you actually learn that Samba is so far from that, and it's like, well, what happened along the way?
Yeah. Where did all of that get lost in translation?
Then you just start to appreciate what Samba really is and what it means to people. And the fact that it's like, it's not just a dance, it's actually a way of life and a culture. It's a whole culture in its own.
Culture. Yeah. There's so much more nuance to it than what we see in the mainstream.
Yes.
And again, like as in someone, like I had no idea until I started researching into this episode, and I was like, why are we not taught this? Like, why do we not see this
right?
more?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you're paving the way, so it's great. So what led you into teaching them? So you started during lockdown.
Yeah.
You know, you were kind of building your own journey and your own story, and you went to Brazil. When did teaching come into that?
So I used to make this joke with my husband that I have zero patience. Like I don't have time for stuff. I have no patience. And he was like, yeah, you are very like, you don't have patience for much.
Yeah.
But I think the more that I was, especially at work, so I was doing not just managing a team, but I was also a coach as well. So I was helping other people who were like new to social media and marketing and coaching them in their careers and that kind of stuff. And my husband was the one that was like, you should teach. And I was like, no, babe, I don't have patience. And he was like, you have a lot more patience than, again, that perception of like, he's like, you're actually very patient. He's like, you sit on calls every day listening to people, listening to their problems and helping them plan like how they should deal with their problems and teaching them. And you're constantly giving like little sessions to different people from different countries on social media. He's like, you do that all the time. He's like, you're a natural teacher. And I was just like, really? And he was like, yeah, you should start teaching. So I actually started teaching twerk first.
Yeah.
So I started teaching just family and friends kind of. And then, you know, they were like, no, you're actually really good. Like, I understand what I'm doing. Like, you taught me how to do this. So then I was like, okay, maybe I should just keep teaching and keep kind of going down that route. And then I did exercise to music course so that I could become qualified. So I had to do that, teach, and I was working full time. So it was a lot.
And 2 kids.
And I always forget about them.
And your wife and your daughter.
And all
so
of the responsibility that was happening at the time. So I was doing all of these things. And once I got that qualification, it all kind of started to click into place. And then I started to really find my feet as a teacher and started to understand the responsibilities that I had as a teacher. Because you're not just really teaching someone to move, you're also helping someone overcome their own insecurities. And that's a huge part of the responsibilities that you have as a teacher. Because when someone steps into your classroom has to be the safest space that you can possibly offer for someone to be able to absorb, right? To be able to learn from you and also learn about themselves. Like if you don't create that safe space, no one is going to come into that room and feel happy to kind of continue and to keep coming back and to grow and learn and kind of like love who they are. And so that was another part of it that I had to kind of like really understand. Like I'm not just teaching someone to move, I'm actually teaching people to fall back in love with themselves.
Especially those women who may have been in the same position that you were.
Yeah.
Or even like when I had my son, I went through a really low period with confidence. I had the same, nothing would fit. I wouldn't want to go out. I'd get stressed and we'd go somewhere because I have nothing to wear.
Yeah.
And for them to make that move to be like, okay, I need to now go into like a twerk class and, you know, or a Samba class where they have already a perception of what women look like.
Yes.
So when did JiggleFiTT? So I love your t-shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
That. So I'm going to ask you where I can get the merch later. But how did JiggleFiTT come out from that?
So before I was kind of branded under Dance with Nana, that's kind of what I had before JiggleFiTT was born. And then there was a phase after. It was just as I was thinking about finishing like my corporate career, essentially. And I'm actually really thankful to my manager that I had at that time because he was like, we're not going to renew your contract because you need to do this full time. Yeah. He's like, you love dancing, you're constantly busy and you're working full time. Yeah. Something has to give. So I'm not going to renew your contract.
But that's it. Like, you have to go and do it.
You have to do it. You've got no choice. Yeah. So I was like, so before that, I was like, I really need to think about like what Dance with Nana means. And it didn't, and I wasn't asking people to dance with me. I was actually asking people to learn to dance for themselves. So that's when I had to rebrand essentially and think about what it means to me. And JiggleFiTT was just kind of born because I'm just constantly telling people to jiggle their bum. in all aspects of life, right? And just like, just jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Yeah.
And the fit part comes from the fitness side of it, and kind of having those qualifications and taking that sort of side seriously. So that kind of how JiggleFiTT was born, because it's a thing that I am the most proud of, in the sense that, like, when I help women find their jiggle, or I help women fall in love with their jiggles, that's like a big win for me. When someone goes, my bum jiggled today and I'm so happy, and I'm like, I love that for you. I love that for you.
So you recently did a video, not recently, sorry, there was a video where you know, someone had said, or someone had left a comment that, you know, you're a dance teacher, you're not a therapist.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So how do you respond to comments like that?
So I think I always have to remember that everyone is going through something in life. So whenever people leave these kind of comments, I take a step back to think, okay, maybe that person has had a really awful experience, right? Maybe they've had a horrible experience. They've been to a dance class and they've not had a good time. And now they've come and stumbled onto my profile and it's triggered them, and they've decided to be trigger happy and write something. So I always think that there's an opportunity, and sometimes there's stuff that I will just ignore. If I feel like the comment comes from a place of hate, then I will just often ignore it, because that person really needs to deal with their own stuff. If it comes from a place where I feel like, actually, this offers me the chance to respond and educate, then I'll look at it and be like, right, this is a really great time for me to kind of use this comment to educate people on what a fitness instructor should look like. You know, what does fitness mean? What does healthy mean? Like, you know, that concept of health, and, you know, what does existing in my body in a fitness industry mean? All that kind of stuff. Because again, that's stuff that kind of just gets brushed over. So there are times where I feel like comments can lead to moments of opportunity for me to educate people. And the more that I can do that, the more I will. Because sometimes people need to be told.
Yeah. That's such a nice way to look at it, and it speaks more about your character than others. So that's really nice. But going on from that, you know, in many ways, and again, like before the negative comments, you've got hundreds of wonderful comments.
Lovely, yeah.
Very lovely. It's such a wonderful community. In many ways, it seems like you've become a symbol for something much bigger than dance.
Yeah.
What is that like to carry? Because it feels like it's a big, like, invisible responsibility almost.
Yes, I try not to think about it until
Oh, sorry.
you bring it up. No, I can't. Honestly, like I say, I really just try to be who I am and just stick true to my mission and my cause, which is to help people discover the joy and freedom of their bodies. So as long as I'm always focused on that, then I can kind of not get lost in the symbolism of JiggleFiTT or of me, because then it just kind of helps me feel grounded. And, you know, my husband's always there to knock me off a bit. So he'll just be like,
he seems incredible. He's been through this journey with you.
He's been through all phases, right? All phases. And it's consistently pushing me, and he's just like, what next for JiggleFiTT? I'm like, babe, calm down.
I feel like I really resonate with when people say, you know, the biggest decision you'll make in your life is choosing a life partner.
Yes.
And I 100% agree with that. It can make or break you.
Oh, it can. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And one of the things that I heard you say in one of the podcasts that you were on, you said that you once wrote a letter to your body.
Yeah.
Can you just talk me through that?
Yeah. So I was looking at different techniques of how to kind of like accept myself. And through kind of like affirmations and stuff, I stumbled across, it was another like podcast that was talking about, like, if you want to say something to your partner, but you don't know how to say it, so you just put it down, you write it down, and then you can let them read the letter. So I was like, actually, let me just write a letter to my body and apologize, because I totally took for granted my body and what it can do and what it did. Like, it literally grew 2 children. And here I am criticizing what it is. And I'm like, how can you criticize something that has grown 2 human beings, right? That's grown 2 human beings, that has housed them, that's looked after them, and continued to look after them afterwards, you know, like through breastfeeding. And just even my fact that, like, my kids would only sleep if they were on me, like on my body. And I had to take a moment to be like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that I neglected you, that I kind of felt like that you didn't deserve to be loved. And that was something that I had to write down and kind of read out to myself and kind of I had to pour into that moment. And I think that was a really good thing. And I think everyone should do that. I honestly think everyone should write a letter to their bodies as if it was someone that they had known, but they're not quite sure how to talk to their bodies, and just write it out. And then you can read it and you can reflect. I still have that letter.
I was going to say, like, what is your relationship with your body now versus when you wrote that letter?
I would say that it's great. Like, my body still surprises me from time to time. You know, sometimes I think I have great knees. My body's like, girl, no.
I've seen you move, mate. That was incredible.
How she like, slow down, like, we're in this together, right? But yeah, I would probably say that, like, I always used to describe that my relationship with my body at the start was like, we were like distant cousins.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that you kind of see from time to time. You kind of recognize them, but you can't really remember the name.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, I kind of know you. But now we're like besties.
Oh,
we are best friends now. And I listen to my body a lot more. So if there are times where I need to chill, I will chill because my body is giving me the signs that I need to chill. Or whether there are days where I feel like I can do more, I can push more, I can just be like, yeah, let's go. I have this thing now that I do, which has become quite synonymous, which my son thinks is hilarious. That every time I'm about to kind of like amp myself up, I slap my bum. It's not because of work. I'm literally just gearing myself up to be like, let's go. So that's how I tell my body, like, get in formation, babe. Like,
well, someone sees you doing that, they know why.
Exactly. So as soon as you see me slap, you know that I'm mentally preparing myself, but I'm also telling my body,
yeah, let's go. Yeah,
we need to go. You and I together, we're doing this.
That's such a great. I've never heard that before. I've never heard you doing that, but that's really interesting. Alongside your body, one of the things I love about your profile is that you're very open about all aspects of your life and your acceptance. And your hair was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
You speak about your hair and accepting your hair. So for someone like me, like, explain that to me. Why is that such a big thing? And also when it comes to your kids, because one of the things you spoke about was you want your kids to accept their natural hair.
Yes.
Can you talk me through that?
So I grew up in the world of like relaxers. And the world where like black hair care was straightening your hair, right? Straightening your hair so that it was more manageable, so that it was like the appearance of it was more desirable, right? So that was always the thing that I'd always grown up around. And, you know, it wasn't to my mum was just doing what everyone else was doing. You know, it was just like, if the thing is to just relax your kid's hair, that's what she would just do. And it wasn't till actually after I had my kids, my hair texture had changed. Everything just felt really weird. And my hair was just starting to kind of like not feel the same. So I decided to chop it off. And I was like, I'm just going to chop it off because what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't grow back. But hair grows, so it will be fine. So I chopped it off, and I really feel like chopping it off was such a great move for me because I felt like I chopped off everything all that trauma, all the hair trauma that I'd had before, all the different things that I tried to do to my hair to make it more manageable and desirable.
And it's like when you say relaxant, it's like chemical treatment.
Yeah, chemical. So it's like straightening it to the point where it was,
and
like,
that's from a young
straight.
Age, right?
Pardon?
That's from like a really young age. So you get chemicals in your hair.
Yeah, like since I was like maybe like 10.
Oh my God.
Yeah, chemically like straightening my hair. And again, it was because image-wise,
Western,
what you see is just like people with straight, like long hair. So it was just like, that's what I need to have because that's what is acceptable, right? There's nothing else out there. I definitely feel like now imagery has changed because you see women embracing their afros, embracing their curly hair. And yeah, I think chopping, I actually took my daughter with me when I decided to chop my hair off because I was like, this is a big step for me and I need her to see this phase. But it's really kind of brought us together because now we both talk about hair all the time and what we can do with our hair and how we can shape our hair and the fact that our hair defies gravity and that we can have different styles. You know, I still love being creative with my hair, but now I love my hair even more because when it goes back to its natural state, which is what it's in now, I can appreciate all the curls and all the textures and all of that kind of stuff. And not to say that, you know, straightening your hair is bad. If that's what you like, then great. But it's just the fact that I was doing it not because I liked it, because that's what I thought was acceptable, right? But now I can show up as myself with different hairstyles. and I can have cornrows one day, and I can have braids another day, and I can have it curly the next day, and I can wear a wig if I want to. And I can just kind of accept all those different phases in the same way that I would accept like my body, one day it feels great, one day it doesn't feel great. I can just accept that for who it is and what it is.
I feel like hair is such a big, it's one of the most essential parts of your appearance as well.
Right.
And having at such a young age, so for so many young Black girls in that era, especially, like it's so much more common now, but so difficult to be like, well, no, you need to change this. And it's almost like you lose part of your personality.
Yes.
Because it's like, well, that's not my hair, and you're putting chemicals. Like I can't.
Yeah. I remember like there was an incident at my daughter's nursery when she was younger, because she went as Elsa.
Yeah.
And obviously Elsa is white and blonde.
Yeah.
And she is not. So she went as Elsa, and there was a little boy that told her that she couldn't be Elsa because her hair wasn't blonde, because her hair was like a sponge or something, and because she was Black. And she was just like, I can be Elsa. Elsa's a made-up character. Like,
Oh, wow.
I can be whoever I want. And I remember when she came back and told me, and I was just like, can you still be Elsa? She's like, of course I can be Elsa. She was like, Elsa can be anyone. Anyone can be Elsa. Anyone can be Superman. It's not like, she was like, he was Superman. He's not strong, is he? And I was like, well, exactly.
That's my girl.
Exactly. He's not strong. He's not Clark Kent, is he? So, but I remember that moment has always stuck with me. So I've always sort of said to myself, I don't want her to lose that. I don't want her to ever lose that notion of that she can be whoever she wants to be, and her hair doesn't define who she is, and it actually makes her more creative. And like now we get to have fun with her hair, and we can kind of like try different styles and put stuff in it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't work. And she actually got her hair straightened for her prom.
Yeah.
And I was really like on edge. First I was thinking, oh my God, she's gonna want this for life now, because she gets it straightened, she's gonna be like, oh my God. And she did it, and then she was like, no, this is too much maintenance. I like it when my hair goes up.
I was like, but I guess one of the things, this is not in the question, so, but as a mother to mother, how do you manage those kind of instances? Because I always think, so my son, he's only 3, he's very young, but I always feel like I'll never be able to change the color of his skin.
No.
Change his name, I can send him to a really nice school, but I'll never be able to change the color of his skin. And I always wonder, like, how would I manage? And it's very much on the rise, right? The London that I grew up in, or the England that I grew up in, is not the same England that it is now. And I always worry, I'm like, and there was a letter of yours I read yesterday that you'd written while you were still working in corporate about finding my Black voice and white. Yes. And you talk about your son, when he grows up, and if he's wearing a hoodie and he's out with his friends, like that image really kind of resonates with me. And I was like, how do I protect him? Like, how do I protect my child?
So I feel like the first thing you have to remember is that, like, there's only so much you can do, right? There's only so much you can do, because you can't influence society.
Yeah.
Right. But what you can do is influence how your son sees himself.
Yeah.
And and the decisions that he makes in terms of who he surrounds himself with. So that is where I channel my energy. So I channel my energy into making sure that my kids understand that first and foremost, there is nothing wrong with their appearance.
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever. And we talk about the things that they like and about themselves, and things that make them strong, things that they like. Because my son is really fast. He's constantly, he doesn't walk anywhere. He runs everywhere. So we talk about the fact that he loves running. Yeah. He goes everywhere. So for me, it's about making sure that I instill that confidence in their own belief in who they are, because that can't be I don't want that to be broken by society, right? Society can't break down the walls that I build in terms of their confidence. So that's the biggest responsibility that you can do, because you can't change other people's minds about, how they might view your son. But you can change your son's mind about how he views himself.
How they're so, like, that confidence internally. Oh, I love that. Oh, thank you. So coming near to the end of this topic, when we come back to you and you talk about wanting to look in the mirror and be really proud of the person that you're looking back, and your dance journey has taken you there. Where are you on that journey now, would you say, versus when you first started in your kitchen?
So I would say that, like, I totally love who I am. Obviously, I have days where you dip and you're just kind of like, should I don't know, like those kind of days. But again, like I say, I always go back to my why and the reason for being where I am now, and how I've come to this place, and I always reflect on that journey. Anytime I have a moment of self-doubt, I'm just like, look at how far you come.
Yeah.
Like, look at how far you come in this journey that, you know, that you've been on, the sacrifices that you've made, the time that you've put into it. Don't let all of that go to waste. And now I feel like I have a responsibility to just keep exploring who I am and to kind of keep challenging myself. I have this thing, because I'm turning 40 in September, and my motto this year is Mais Forte, which means stronger, more stronger for 40. And I've set myself the challenge of like just exploring different types of movement. I went bouldering the other day. Like, you've never seen me climb a wall, like, ever. I don't even like climb stairs. But you know, me and my husband, we went bouldering, and I've decided it's absolutely not for me.
But you tried it, though.
But I tried it.
Yeah.
Right? I tried it. I'm doing an aerial hoop class in a couple of weeks. So again, I'm just kind of, I'm making sure that I continue to explore what my body can do, what my mind can do. I can challenge myself and be happy with that. And I think having that is really important for me, because that keeps me going, so that I can keep helping other women explore who they are when they come to class, and I can keep helping them. And I never want to feel stagnant, and I never want to feel like I'm just here, you know, like, oh, okay, now I'm here. No, I always want to have something that I can reach towards, goals that I have and things that I can work towards personally, because that will keep me going, and that will keep me in the right mindset to be able to kind of come into class and be like, right, this is what we're going to do today. Let's go, right?
It's like, what's next? And also challenging your body, right?
Yes.
It's your bestie now. And it's like, let's try this.
Bouldering, my body was
like, did you slap your bum before bouldering?
I did. And my body was like, girl, I'm not in this. You're on your own. Literally.
Let's go.
My legs are like, we're tapped out for today. You could just use your arms.
So, Nana, if there's one thing you could say to anyone that's left a cruel comment about a woman's body, what would it be?
I would say, before you comment, take a really good look in the mirror and reflect on your life. And, you know, before you comment on someone else, think about how you would take that comment if they said that to you, right? If someone said that exact comment to you, how would you see that comment? And if you think, oh my gosh, that would make me really upset, then don't type it.
Yeah.
Like, just scroll past, move on, right? But if you would accept that comment, then maybe you need to have a really good look as to why you would accept that comment and what influences that you've had in your life that make you think it's okay to talk to people like this, to think that it's, you know, it's okay to comment on other people's bodies. Like, just keep scrolling. If you're not happy with something, just keep scrolling. Delete your phone, throw it away. You know, go for a walk, go to the forest, go touch trees, you know, do something else than comment on someone else's body.
And if a woman is listening to you right now and she's potentially in the same position that you were in 2020, you know, going through that, what would you say to her?
I would say find something that brings you joy. It doesn't have to be dance. And this is what I always say to people. I'm not out here, I'm not trying to convert everyone to become a Samba dancer.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to create a space for people to open themselves up to trying something new. If they decided they really wanted to do pottery, but they did think that they'd be good at it, everyone has to start somewhere. So it's just allowing yourself to start somewhere, anywhere, even if it's just booking something and then thinking, okay, right, I've booked it. Now I'm just going to wait for it to come up.
Yeah.
That's a great, even if it's just looking for something as well, you know, that's also a really great step. It doesn't mean that tomorrow you have to go do this thing. It's just open yourself up to the possibility of trying something completely different, you know, clown school, baking, whatever it is. Just open yourself up to trying something new, because you just never know what could happen from it or what you could discover about yourself and about the people around you, and just the doors that kind of can open from it as well. So just try. Just try.
I love that. Oh, amazing. Well, that's the end of the questions. Now, to end, we're going to go into a quick fire round.
Oh, I love. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Great.
First thing that comes into your mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Question 1. Jollof rice, Ghana or Nigeria?
Ghana, 100%.
Look, what's the story behind jollof rice? Like, why is this such a point of contention?
Because Ghanaians make it best, Nigerians can't.
Or one Ghanaian dish you could eat every single day.
Oh, I would probably say fufu.
I've got fufu written here.
Oh,
You know why? I was going to ask you after, where do I get fufu from? Because it looks great. I've been watching videos and I'm like, this looks so good.
Find a good restaurant.
You need to tell
Or when
me a
my
good
mum
place.
comes over, I'll invite you around for dinner and she'll make it for you. But I would definitely say fufu is like filling.
Ghana versus England, where feels more like home?
Oh, I mean, I would say home is where the people that I love are. So right now, England is home. That's where home is for me.
And the value from Ghana you're most determined to pass on to your kids?
Oh, I would probably say that kind of like relentless determination, like just not letting anything stop you from the goals that you have and the dreams and the ambitions that you have, but also not being afraid to pivot as well. Because if something doesn't quite happen, not being afraid to be like, okay, let's try this instead.
Mirror in the morning or mirror after dancing?
Probably after dancing. Yeah, definitely. Because I love to look at the sweat.
Dancing in a costume at carnival or dancing in your kitchen alone?
Kitchen, always kitchen alone.
That kitchen, if you ever move house, it has to come with you.
I moved actually, so that kitchen and we had to say goodbye, and it was actually very emotional for me to say bye to that kitchen.
It's kind of like your space, almost, right?
Yeah, I've had to christen a new space.
Before JiggleFiTT versus now, one word for each.
So before JiggleFiTT, I was exploring. Now I am like just spreading, without sounding dodgy, but like spreading joy, spreading good vibes, spreading positive hope. Yeah.
Biggest myth about body confidence?
That once you become confident, that's it. Like you've done it, you've nailed it. Like that's it. You can plain sail now.
It's an ongoing journey.
It's ongoing, constant, every day.
Samba or twerk, one for the rest of your life?
Samba for sure. Samba, 100%.
Notting Hill Carnival versus Rio Carnival?
Rio.
A song that makes you feel completely unstoppable?
Oh, do you know, my daughter asked me this the other day and I couldn't give her a song because I just love so many songs. I would probably say the song that I go to a lot is Queen by Janelle Monáe.
Okay.
That's a great song. It's got good vibes, good energy, and the messaging is important.
Strong, soft, joyful, or jiggly? Which one are you today?
Today I am.
Well, I mean, you've got two of the words on your t-shirt, so
I would probably say
not planned.
Today I'm feeling soft. I'm feeling soft.
Yeah. The affirmation you come back to the most?
I'm capable of anything I can put my mind to.
Just Black women can.
Yes.
And lastly, what do you want your daughter to know about being a Black woman that you had to learn the hard way?
We're incredibly talented, but we are massively underestimated.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Nana. It's been so wonderful talking to you. So where can people find you?
So people can find me in all different sorts of places, but they can find me on Instagram, This Black Woman Can, or they can follow me on JiggleFiTT.
You do classes as well,
I do classes, yes. I do classes in London, online. For those who are like, I need some of that, but I'm not there. Come.
Yeah.
Great vibes online. I'm a nutcase, but you know, it's all good. And everything is on my website, thisblackwomancan.com.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being such fun.
Thank you so much for listening today. If this conversation resonated with you, I would be so grateful if you could like, subscribe, and share. It really does help our show and helps us to continue telling honest human stories that often don't get told. Until next time.